What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. Okay, this has to be one of the weirdest videos I'm making. It's not something I'm accustomed to making, so apologies if it's structured so damn weird. I did consider Tough Enough first, but I sided with NXT because Tough Enough was going to be harder to structure and it was going to be some sort of 2-day job. I'd have to go back and watch the episodes again to catch something like the Hanging Nuts incident and a bunch of stuff from season 1 of Tough Enough. So that would probably take me more than 2 days. So yeah. Once again, apologies. This video ain't the same as the other ones. I just talk about the season. I'm not detailed or anything like that. I just talk about what happened in general, so yeah. Anyways, NXT, well, it ain't the NXT of nowadays. It was this show where all hell broke loose. It was like the Wild West in a way. Everybody's running around doing whatever the hell they wanted, in contrast to the tight scripts of Raw and SmackDown. Like, sure, NXT was scripted in a way, but the guys had more freedom on there. The premise of the show was simple. 8 rookies, 8 pros, 1 dream. That being a WWE contract and a title shot against the champion of the winner's choosing on pay-per-view. The show replaced ECW on Sci-Fi in the US at 10 o'clock p.m. on February 23, 2010. The rookies were Wade Barrett, Skip Sheffield, Heath Slater, Justin Gabriel, Darren Young, Michael Tarver, David Otunga, and Daniel Bryan. All these guys were pretty experienced being called up from FCW, and in Bryan's case, was already a star outside of WWE. The pros for the rookies were as followed. Chris Jericho for Wade Barrett, William Regal for Skip Sheffield, Christian for Heath Slater, Matt Hardy for Justin Gabriel, CM Punk for Darren Young, Carlito for Michael Tarver, R-Truth for David Otunga, and The Miz for Daniel Bryan. So quite the lineup. Before this video starts, I'd just like to deliver a message to our sponsor. This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet. Honestly, this thing was so convenient for me. Unlike this old wallet that I had, this wallet is cluttered and so worn out that I can't even use it anymore. The Ridge wallet is light and sleek and you don't have to worry about it getting wrinkled up. It easily fits in my pocket, and unlike my old wallet, it can be organized very simply. I don't have to worry about the clutter of old receipts and stuff like that. It holds up to 12 cards. There's a little clip there to hold your cash. There's over 30 colors and styles such as a carbon fiber and burnt titanium. And if you're still skeptical about the quality of the wallet, check out their 30,000 5-star reviews. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, the wallet will come with a lifetime warranty, meaning you can buy a wallet and carry it for the rest of your life, and they'll let you test it for 45 days if you're still unsure about the quality. You'll get a full refund if you weren't satisfied. Now, the reason why I like this wallet is because it's simple, it's light, and I can easily bring out a card just like that. Another thing to mention is that it's made with RFID blocking technology to protect you from some digital jabronis looking to steal. Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping and return by going down to the link ridge.com/WP is here. That's ridge.com/WP is here, and use the code WP is here. Link is down below in the description. Alright, let's get into the video. Now, this NXT thing was panned by many, like the game show premise thing, whatever it was. I was a kid at the time. I didn't care, obviously, so I just watched it. I was like, whatever, let's watch. WWE promised it would be the next evolution of television, and it was going to offer a real look behind the scenes. Like, what the hell is revolutionary about this show? It's a reality show where guys get selected and eliminated, that's all. Matt Striker was interrupting the rookies and telling them what to do. Anyways, the show intro made it seem like a beach reality of sorts, like, for example, previously on NXT.
That look like superstars, that may be married to people who are famous.
Hey man, these are Versace shorts.
That thing was rigged out there.
They're all happy and smiling, and they seem like a TV show of sorts, although that might have gone better than this game show thing. On the inaugural episode of NXT, a bunch of stuff happened. First of all, the spotlight was right on The Miz and Daniel Bryan. I don't know why Michael Tarver had a problem with this, but Miz made D. Bryan look like $1,000, not $1 million. Like, sure, you were out there shining, but this is the WWE. He wanted to teach Bryan not how to wrestle, because he already knew Bryan knew how to wrestle, but to be an entertainer, as he required a personality and a catchphrase and all that marketing stuff. And coincidentally, Bryan's first word in the WWE was yes. These two right off the bat didn't get along. Miz was criticizing Bryan, while Bryan himself threatened to make Miz tap or snap. Miz at one point even slapped the taste out of Bryan's mouth. Then, when the American Dragon walked to the back, he's threatening Miz. He's talking about how he's been in the business twice as long as The Miz, when Matt Striker chimes in and straight up tells Bryan, you haven't been in the WWE for a minute. Like, bro, who's asking for your expertise? He's advising Bryan to follow The Miz and learn from his advice, and that was happening throughout the show. Like, Matt Striker would always say something to the rookies trying to make them understand, but he just comes off as a know-it-all in a way. As for the other pro and rookie relationships, most of them were horrendous. There was lack of communication, embarrassment, talking too much, and they were feisty. The first episode did a pretty good job of establishing who the rookies were, and it set the stage for the next 3 months of television. It wasn't filled with world-beater matches, but it was mostly story and drama-driven. Most of these competition and interview segments were scripted, and they gave the guys a chance to show a whole new perspective of themselves. Like if management saw them one way, the one promo could have changed everything. Also, the rookies were a bunch of petulant kids. Like just on the second week, David Otunga got into it with his own damn pro, R-Truth. Heath Slater was short-sighted. He won one match and he's thinking he's on top of the world, and the pros were there to bring these guys back down to earth. The only two rookie and pros that were on the same page were Slater and Christian, and Matt and Gabriel, and the unscripted stuff was out of nowhere. Like this, for example, Carlito. He chose a random rookie to spit this apple on, and he chose Slater. They wanted to get a response from him, and all he could say was, "That's cool. That's cool," because Carlito said it. "That's cool." And once Stryker heard this, he responded, "That's NXT." Okay, now from a character standpoint, I understood just about everyone. There was a cowboy, an intelligent native of Chicago who's gone Hollywood. A bunch of stuff was there. Sure, I didn't understand who Justin Gabriel was, kind of, but most of the guys there, they had some sort of character, like Michael Tarver. He had an angel on one side and the devil on the other. There was a variety of characters, as it should be. Once everything settled and we got to know who everybody was, their strengths, their weaknesses, WWE started to rate the rookies with weekly polls for the WWE pros. At this point, Michael Tarver was the biggest whiner on the show. He was taking L's all over the place, but despite this, he was trying to stand out. Like, he was creative. He got the t-shirt thing. He did the mask thing. Daniel Bryan was also a loser. He was 0-5, and despite this, he was pretty popular with the pros. And in the first week of polls, Daniel Bryan was ranked number 1. Now, for context, he faced some very tough competition, such as the Great Khali and Chris Jericho. He brought the fight in every match, hence the ranking. Michael Cole was starting to undermine Bryan's skills, slowly turning into a heel. The rookies were starting to receive rewards. For example, one night there was a battle Raw to determine who hosts Raw. David Otunga won, and he got to make a name for himself on the show. Anyways, the matches weren't really noteworthy on NXT, but those stupid challengers certainly were. As dumb as it may have been, some of them were funny to see. Like, the stars were struggling to keep up with the competition. I mean, did anyone think Bryan, straight out of Ring of Honor, was going to come to the WWE and lift a damn keg? No one did. Also, for some reason, Michael Tarver's complaining about the other guys' keg skills, and when it was his turn to do it, he botched. He dropped that damn keg twice, but for context, I believe Tarver did this to stand out. Still added to his character. He was talking about how he was Mr. 1.9, but he could barely last that long in the ring or in these competitions because he was losing all the damn time. With that said, the most notable segment up to this point was the Talk the Talk challenge. Matt Stryker gives the guys random topics and they must stay within the confines of that topic. For example, t-shirt. And it was sink or swim. Daniel Bryan completely failed. He took another approach to this by pandering to the UK audience. They booed him. Wade Barrett was a clear standout. He stood within the confines of the topic at hand and passed with flying colors. Others failed, such as Justin Gabriel, who didn't even say much about flowers. He says, "I like roses, blah, blah, blah," and he was stuck. He was a deer in the headlights. Skip Sheffield managed to placate it to the audience with the yep, or whatever the hell it was, and he got the fans to cheer him.
Promo was put me to sleep. Not bad.
And meanwhile, Tarver refused to say anything. Over the next couple of weeks, the rookies participated in some very unnecessary competitions, such as the Rock'em Sock'em. It was very goofy. That moment was hilarious, though. Tarver once again forfeited because it's his thing. Michael Cole and Josh Matthews were laughing their asses off. His intentions were unknown. It's like ducking some soccer games, and you're not helping yourself. Eventually, you're going to get relegated, or in his case, eliminated. He did come out to protest in spite of these competitions, as he believed he was a bulldog off a leash. The commentary team were cracking up once he said that. He issued an open challenge to anyone, rookie or pro. Skip Sheffield responded. He was making jokes about Tarver, and I still don't understand. I don't understand why he chose the words nitwit of negativity. And then the Straight Edge Society came out and introduced Darren Young. It was basically the battle of the losers. Shockingly enough, despite getting help from Luke Gallows, Michael Tarver once again blew it. Also on this episode, Heath Slater upset Chris Jericho, losing via roll-up, and in his book, he wasn't very pleased about this. But he was a company man, and he was willing to do it. Following this, the rookies were set to sell some programs to the fans in this little competition. Daniel Bryan wasn't a capitalist, so he threw out all of those programs. Gabriel and Slater made some sales, and Otunga, the winner, made some fans his personal assistants in making sales. Michael Tarver, as expected, sold loads. He believed he was the product. Barrett was smart enough and he took the money away, basically putting Vince McMahon's cash in his pocket. Overall, this competition made a bunch of these guys look like idiots. Like, if they won this competition, they were going to get the chance to face a pro, and it was a chance to show that they got the goods in the ring, but they decided to ditch the challenge, basically. But this caught up to them, as the following week was crucial in determining who's getting eliminated. Justin Gabriel managed to score immunity from elimination, leaving the rest of the bunch vulnerable. In response to the results, Matt Stryker asked the contestants who they think should get eliminated from NXT. Michael Tarver announced that he wanted himself to get eliminated. I don't know why. He believed he wasn't given chances. He called himself the most dangerous rookie in NXT, which contradicts everything he said. Like, he believed he wasn't given chances, but these damn competitions, these challenges are a way to score immunity points, therefore not getting eliminated, and he wants to get kicked out. And the funny part in all this was the fact that he got pissed the moment the rest believed he should get eliminated. Like, once Heath Slater said he should get eliminated, he's blowing up over in the background. I mean, you want to get kicked out. He forfeited every challenge he was in, and now he's complaining when the other guys state he should be eliminated. Then Daniel Bryan himself stated he should get kicked out. Up to this point, he had yet to win a match, and that is his reasoning. Following this, a fight ensued between Darren Young and Wade Barrett, and it was a mess. With that said, the two losers' wish was granted. Tarver was devastated. Matt Striker asked if his strategy of quitting challenges was to be noticed. He said some random stuff about how it's impossible to not notice him by doing that stuff. Meanwhile, Daniel Bryan didn't blame anyone for his misfortunes but himself. He believed it might be the end of Daniel Bryan because he could take Batista to the limit, but he can't even beat rookies. But Bryan Danielson, on the other hand, that's a whole other story. Some of the fans were cheering as they believed it was time for Bryan Danielson to come to the WWE. It seemed like there was an earthquake with the way the camera was shaking during that segment. One thing to take away from this interview was that maybe there were plans for Bryan Danielson and WWE before the whole Nexus thing. The competition started to get heated, and now you're probably wondering, what is the criteria of a superstar in the NXT pros' eyes? What do you have to do in order to rank high on their list? Well, the rookies needed the it factor, the wrestling skills, the mic skills. All the pros had the same opinion. Chris Jericho, meanwhile, refused to pay for any one of those NXT rookies in the ring, except for one, his own. As for the eliminated rookies, Michael Tarver believed that management were too scared to eliminate him personally, and Matt mentioned Tarver's lack of participation in competitions and how he voted himself out of the competition. He believed he stood out, he was different from everyone. As he's speaking, Matt Striker once again interrupted. As for Daniel Bryan, I think you know this from him. He also believed he was eliminated by WWE management. He heard about the stories of Vince liking big guys and homegrown talent, regardless of their ability to connect with the audience. Bryan mentioned how he made himself a star, and he thought it was stupid how a public company that answers to stockholders refuses to go with the guy that could make them the most money. Simply put, D. Bryan believed he was the best person for this job. Striker once again told Bryan, "You eliminated yourself." Bryan believed the pros themselves know he's able to hang in there, and he even proclaimed himself to be better than the Miz. Striker once again chimed in, and Bryan finally acknowledged the interruptions before shifting his focus to Michael Cole. The guy's been saying Bryan doesn't have it. He has no personality, and Bryan called him out. He started to approach Cole, and he's starting to get worried, and Bryan called him out. All of a sudden, he went nuts, officials restrained him, and it was an overall intense situation. The following week, Bryan apologized before making Michael Cole look like a wuss. Cole then shouted that Bryan doesn't deserve this, the competition, and he mocked Bryan's submission models and took a jab at him, saying that Bryan tapped out of this competition because he's a loser that has no heart. Once again, encore of the previous week, but that wasn't it. Miz was utterly embarrassed by D. Bryan's actions, but he himself also got his ass kicked too. That was what NXT was all about during this time period. It was about those reality show moments where things go crazy. As for the competition itself, Justin Gabriel, David Otunga, and Wade Barrett remained. The rookies sat in front row to witness the finale of Season 1. They gave their insight into who deserved to win. Tarver, as expected, said himself. Daniel Bryan was blunt, he criticized Otunga's wrestling skills, and he trashed Gabriel's mic skills before declaring Wade Barrett his pick. Sheffield was jello, Darren Young chose Barrett, and Slater chose him too. The pros poll saw Justin Gabriel fall in last place, meaning he's out. Before the final results, the final two verbalized. Otunga started off insulting Barrett's appearance, and he demanded a triple threat match between Barrett, Aquafresh, and Listerine, stating that that's the only match he'll pay for that features Wade Barrett. He ridiculed Wade's body, and sure, he could hit a couple of moves in the ring, but that can be taught. He didn't learn, by the way. As for Barrett, he defended his physique, stating that he's a fighter, and he made fun of Otunga, stating that he's seen Great Khali move around the ring with more balance and poise than him. And about the it factor, he should add 2 letters to the front. After the pros huddled up and discussed these promos, the results were revealed. Before they did, however, the pros started to argue. Regal congratulated Jericho on his rookie winning the competition, even though the results hadn't come in. R-Truth, David Otunga's pro, got in his face, and Regal believed it was Otunga's marriage to Jennifer Hudson that kept him on the show. So did Punk. Christian got involved, and Regal was so stressed out because for 15 weeks, he stuck on the show without a live microphone. RVD then danced for some reason. Christian told Regal to sit down and told him that he hasn't won a match in a year. Punk walked away. Regal believed regardless of Jericho being his pro, Wade Barrett would have won anyways, and when the results were actually on the screen, it was Wade Barrett who won Season 1 of NXT. Otunga believed Ashton was around, meaning he was punked, but it didn't matter. If he lost NXT, it was going to become the biggest star regardless. Jericho was like a proud uncle, and he gave the pros some bad news. That's Season 1 of NXT.
Competition.
Thank you very much.
It was a weird concept. I don't think it was a success looking back on it. Their intentions, they weren't successful. They didn't create many stars. Only one became world champion, but he wasn't even a homegrown talent. He probably would have succeeded regardless of NXT. The matches weren't exactly amazing, but I don't seem to recall any trash on there. The goofy challenges were kind of unnecessary, but it felt like they were desperately trying to get a reaction from the contestants. Michael Cole and Josh Matthews were funny as hell at some points. Negatives, I wouldn't go out of my way to watch the entire season again. Positive, some hilarious moments. You get to see the start of many of these guys' WWE career, and it gave guys a chance to show what they're made of. Yeah, that's what I think of NXT Season 1. If this video is successful, I will do Season 2. That's your first video. Make sure you hit a wasteland on the like button, and perhaps the bell lock on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.